Again, we had a very weak start this morning, but again, we've turned around and looking a lot better as we head into the afternoon. We are seeing quite a lot of volatility on the markets at the moment, aren't we?
Yes, absolutely. This market is a different thing altogether. We opened this morning to some lackluster movement in the market, and then all of a sudden at about 11 o'clock or just after 11, the market shot up quite significantly. I suspect it had perhaps something to do with the PMI numbers and retail sales numbers coming out of Europe, as well as the United Kingdom, because we saw the FTSE also gaining some momentum and edging closer to where it closed yesterday. But yes, it's very difficult to call the direction in this intraday direction in this market. Yesterday we also saw that it was only when the United States opened that we edged a little bit closer, and based on the housing data that came out there, we ended up a little bit higher.
Of course, our market continues to ignore local fundamentals, rather following the international trends, because we had our own PMI data out a couple of days ago, and it looked pretty bleak. But we really are still taking our cue from overseas, aren't we?
Yes, the funny thing also, vehicle sales data came out yesterday, which were dismal, just showing that the South African consumer is not coping very well at the moment, and that they're not out there buying, showing that the South African consumer is still under duress and still depressed at the moment. And it seems that our market is ignoring all of that and looking to see what the United States has got to offer, looking to see at international markets to see where direction is, what they're doing, and just waiting for a rebound in the Dow and the S&P in order to give us some kind of direction.
Of course, we are seeing some quite big upward moves on some of our commodity and financial shares. We had Anglo Plat up 3.7% just a short while ago. We had Liberty up 5.1%. And of course, we had Old Mutual up just over 4%. And that was after those results out this morning.
Yes, absolutely. It was very interesting the way that the market interpreted those results. The last time I checked, Old Mutual was trading about 4.10% up at about 13 rands. And I think just the market, realizing that Old Mutual has probably gone through what it needs to get through to get its house in order. And the past 12 months have been hard for Old Mutual, and expecting a recovery and a strong recovery from there. They've got a new chairman coming in, Patrick O'Sullivan, replacing Chris Collins. So the market interpreting that well, with his strong financial services background and his corporate restructuring background. So I just think a market thinking it's a good enough result from Old Mutual. It is well received, and as much as there won't be a dividend now, we're hoping that at the end of the year there will be a dividend also.
Of course, we also had those results out from Nedbank this morning, also being received fairly well by the market. The shares trading slightly higher, but really reporting in line with this trading update and in line with what we're seeing from the rest of the banking sector at this stage.
Yes, I think, what I've seen comparing, because only two banks have reported so far, that's Absa and Nedbank, is that a lot of the information that we're seeing now is already in the price. So that's why, initially you'll see some kind of movement in the price. I think Nedbank was at went down 1.4% when the results came out. But as the day progressed, we saw that, the market is starting to digest it a little bit more, and actually was happy with the results that came out, because now we're trading up. I'm not sure where the price is at the moment. Last I checked, it was at about 110, up on nearly 1% for the day. So I think regardless of what has happened, and regardless of the management's guidelines going forward on what the South African consumer will be doing and what the South African banking environment is headed, I think that they've given enough guidance as to what's going to happen at the end of the year. Down 34% for Nedbank, down 39% for Absa, and then just going forward next week, hopefully we'll see what FSR has got to show.
Of course, there aren't that many surprises coming out at the moment, because we are getting quite good guidance from those companies. We had that Northam trading update yesterday, and unsurprisingly, it is going to report a sharp drop in profits given what the platinum price has done over the past year.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they came out saying they expect headline earnings per share to be down between 71 and 74%, which is much in line with what our and Nedbank analysts have expected from there. And, I think that just based on the collapse in the dollar PGM prices that we have seen, an increase in the number of shares the average number of shares in issue, as well as also the rand-dollar exchanged and the higher unit cost, and so not a very good expectations from Northam, but at least that'll be embedded in the current price until we see the results in the middle of August. I believe 14th of August or something, we'll see the interim results.
Of course, you mentioned those housing figures yesterday out of the US. We're getting some factory order data out today. And of course, we have that non-farm payroll data, which is out on Friday. And that's really going to be key for the markets going forward, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're looking forward to seeing that data this afternoon. Factory orders are coming out today. ADP unemployment change data is also coming out today. We're expecting, a better picture there. Particularly, we'll be looking to see what the factory orders have got to say. Unemployment data is so key and critical in the United States, and we've got unemployment rate as well as non-farm payrolls coming out on Friday. So it will give us a proper ending to the week, and it will tell us where direction-wise we should be going next week. But those are key data to look at because it affects the United States consumer, affects which way he'll be going, and going forward, what other data would be relevant.